you're at, bitch. I'm throwing Simtex. I'm coming with bazooka. I'm taking shit. I'm looking in the kill cam. Where are you at, bitch? I'm coming to get you next.
you didn't play hardcore? You played regular?
Yeah. No, that hardcore shit. Bah, bah. Yeah, you 2 times. Yeah. That was different. I was scared to get off in those lobbies because it's like, yeah, I need like 8 bullets to hit me before I die type shit. And then you get mad because you're like a whole clip and the motherfucker ain't dead. Like, the motherfucker shot me. I shot him first.
All right, well, hell, we are live. Waiting for some people. Yeah, it already hit 5 o'clock. We've been live for a couple minutes, so for about 60 seconds.
Nice. Well, I'm excited about the day, man. Talking about gaming on green. I think it's got a ring to it, if you ask me. But you taking me back down memory lane, man. I ain't played Call of Duty in like 4 or 5 years. I think since 2021. So
yeah, we can. My clan WMD, War's Most Decorated. We started that about 2005 or 2006. Got on Game Battle's ladder. We were 14th in the United States for about 2 years.
Damn.
And then things started happening, man. Cheating started becoming more rampant. They would actually have referees come in and watch your game from Game Battles.
Whoa.
To make sure nobody was doing anything out of pocket. We'd have like a no grenade game or something like that. So it got real. And then I believe Major League Game came in and took that website over. So it became MLG. And then that started a whole slew of people coming in, and it was just too much for us, man. It was just people were cheating, and we couldn't prove it, and so we didn't want to get on the cheating bandwagon. We decided to just pull ourselves from the whole thing because competitive gaming is tough especially if you can't prove somebody's cheating.
You know what they say, right? If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
My line was, if you keep cheating, so we ain't competing.
Oh, okay.
And that's what I put on the Game Battles.
Yeah,
that's how that.
I can respect that. I can respect that.
Yeah. Well, let's get it started. I'm cutting it short. I'm just too excited to get to this one.
What's got your Sarah favorite way of smoking bud? Come on, man. You gotta hit it, dog.
Your favorite way of smoking bud. Your favorite way of smoking bud. Your favorite way of smoking bud. What's your favorite way of smoking bud?
That shit just goes hard, bro.
That shit cranks, man. Yeah, glad we could put that together for the fam. That was a good episode. We got a lot of favorite ways of smoking bud. We got Sarah in the house saying she's not a gamer, but she's here to smoke. So you're here for half of it, and that's all we need.
Pull up. That's all. If you got something to smoke, you don't game. I don't game anymore either. I haven't gamed since what we're going to talk about today in 2021 during COVID. So if you play Call of Duty, where are all my veterans at? Out there, where all my gamers at, especially if you game while you're on green. We want to hear from you today, baby. Let's talk about it.
I'm trying to. Is that you, Chase? Shit.
Oh, he said, I remember the WMD days. Look, you got the OGs coming out.
I think that's Chase. That's one of my brothers, man, from Odessa out there, man. Matt's brother, man. It's good to see you, man. Yeah, you remember the WMD days because I had your brother going through it for a long time. Blunts, you already know. Okay.
Oh, GTA. Now, when's GTA? B-Mac, talk to me, because I remember when a couple of years ago I was in South Beach with my son Bryce at the Youth National Football Championships, and he was saying this is so cool to be on South down there on South Beach because GTA 6 is coming out, and GTA 6 is gonna have Miami in it. But I heard it was supposed to come out. Let me know, B-Mac. I've never played it, but I know everybody that does.
I can tell you right now, and B-Mac will tell you, we've been waiting for that game for 27 years.
Oh, okay. So
it seems like they just keep pushing that shit off. I think they said next year, but yeah, they're definitely. I was really hoping it was like a remake of Vice City because that's my favorite all time because they did such a perfect job of recreating Miami Beach and all that area. It was perfect that I was hoping they redid that, and they're gonna do it sort of, but it's gonna be a big open world kind of thing. And they keep putting off, man, and we're dying to get it.
Bro, so you said your clan, you started a clan up. Like you was like a real clan, not like this, fake clans that they got now with the Call of Duty. Like y'all was real, like y'all knew each other.
Well, no, here's the deal. So I'll try and tell the story really quick because it's crazy and compact how it happened. So I was the first clan I ever joined was actually, I believe, NWO, which is a New World Order. And then at the same time, I was in another clan called MOD, but I had two different names. Back then, you didn't have a name attached to your account. It was just attached to whatever your memory card had on it. So I was Ghost of War with the NWO clan, and I was, I believe I was Misfit or something, which would I stuck forever with the other one. And then I was doing so good with both of them, I had to choose which one I was going to go with, and I chose MOD. But everybody in MOD was tired of the guy who was running it. Not to mention, I think he was kind of a PEDO. So he wound up getting popped a couple times. So I said, look, man, I'm tired of listening to this dude. He's unrespectable. Whoever wants to come with me, I'm starting something. And everybody came with me. So I started War's Most Decorated right around 2005, 2004. And from there, the clan battles didn't have anything to do with going to a website. It was going up to a group of people you saw in a lobby like, hey, you want to battle? Cool. Come to this lobby. And they'd meet you in the room. You'd set out the rules and then you'd battle. And whoever won. And you would hope that they were cool enough to admit that they lost. And so you would basically put the wins and losses on the website that you created and you ran. And that's when game battles came a few years later and started being able to kind of keeping all that track for you. But I had a website since day one on Moonfruit where I was tracking all of our wins and losses. We had a list of allies, clans we were friends with, clans that we didn't like.
Damn.
So yeah, it was really hardcore, man. And it took up a good portion of my life, man. And I'm telling you, it did lead to the breakup of a big relationship I had at one point. But I wouldn't trade it for the life of me because those people that I gamed with 20 plus years ago, I still talk to a lot of them to this day. I still game with most of them to this day. As you can see, Chase is in the house. The thing about the gaming community is it's such a huge family, man. And if you're down with people, you don't need to be seeing them. You don't need to be interacting with them in real life to understand the core of most people. And that's what I love about the gaming community, man. It's just good like that. Yeah, cheaters came, man.
Yeah, I didn't get into all of that. Like, I was just like that too. I had found a couple of group of guys on Call of Duty that regularly log in, never met them before, but they're always in the same lobbies. And then like, they all recruit you, add you as a friend, recruit you when they see you online. You get 6, 8 guys together, and then you go in, you start wrecking shit.
Yep. It was a lot of fun. It was unregulated, which was better because you had to rely on reputation. And like my clan was reputable as hell. I didn't stand for bullshit. We didn't cheat. We didn't do nothing like that. So we got a really, really good following. A lot of crazy stuff happened, man. And I still have the WMD Misfit as my name on Xbox. Matter of fact, when I went from PlayStation to Xbox, I couldn't afford the Xbox. My clan bought it for me.
Damn.
Yeah.
Power community, baby. Love it.
Shout out to Merck and all the guys back then who when I made that move and everybody jumped to a different console, I couldn't do it. I didn't have the money. Everybody put in like $30 and sent me the money and said, "There you go, man. Now bring us over to the system. Let's battle." Yeah. Not sure.
Well, I mean,
the shooters.
When we was on lockdown, I mean, everybody remember when we got put on timeout during COVID. The only place you could really go was the grocery store and the dispensary. As a dispensary, pretty much in all the legal states were listed as essential operations. So, it was like, go to the dispensary, come home, deal with the kids on the iPad, get them situated, and then, jump on Call of Duty. Because, you couldn't go nowhere else. But I was like, I'm going to make use of my time during this lockdown time. Like, I went into lockdown with a strategy. Like, what skill am I going to come out better from COVID? And I chose sniper because I never played the sniper. I was always the run and gun guy. I like to run, blow shit up, run and shoot you in your face. I'm not camping. I like to come around corners blasting. But for me, getting on that sniper rifle was a little different because, like you say, it takes a little patience. Sometimes you got to use a little camping strategy, So if you've played Call of Duty out there, let us know. What was your favorite type of class on Call of Duty? Mine was, the SMGs, the quick guns that you could use sleight of hands with, running and gunning.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's start off at the beginning because we're talking about smoking cannabis. We're talking about gaming with green, which means you purposely smoked a little bit of cannabis and decided to hop on a game. Now, for me, there's different things. If there's a game that I need to be very quick twitch and on it, I'm probably not going to smoke too much. But if I want to get really baked and maybe play something like Rocket League or something I don't have to worry too much about screwing up on, that's kind of how I do it. But from the very beginning, And I'm talking about me as a 13-year-old man, young man. I was getting baked really early in my life. And I was a gamer since, as you can see under my name, since at least 1978. I've had almost every home game system you could have, starting with the Odyssey in 1978, the Pong Odyssey that had maybe 2 or 3 games on it, and then to the Atari 2600, Intellivision, ColecoVision, Sega Genesis, Sega Master System, all that stuff. I had all of them. I was a hardcore gamer most of my life. But I would say I think most of us started with this one. It's safe to say that if you were old school, if you were OG and somewhere around my age, I don't even want to say it, but if you're in your 40s or 50s, chances are your first foray into home gaming and gaming in general was with this game. But for me, if I'm really, really being honest, we'd have to go back a little bit further than that. And we'd have to go back to this guy right here.
Yeah, he's on fire.
Is it the shoes? So we're talking about NBA jams, and we're talking about me getting baked with my friends in the car and walking into Don Carter's bowling lanes in Miami, Florida, and walking in and just hearing just getting extremely overloaded and running. Me and Eric B would run right to that NBA jam.
Shout out to Eric B, baby.
Yeah, man. We would sit there, and I knew the code to get the Battle Zone game, so we get all the big head codes and all that stuff going. And we would sit there and just wax people in that game over and over and over again. And we would sit there and just take anybody on, and we were damn good at that game. We'd always play with the Heat. Marley, and all these great players were in that game. But that game and this game as well in the arcade. I don't know if anybody remembers this game.
I didn't play that. I didn't play that game. No, I don't remember that.
Smash TV was a take on the Schwarzenegger movie, The Running Man, where you're competing on a TV show, but in front of a live audience, and you've got to kill a bunch of people. It was just carnage, total carnage. It was insane, basically. And you could see the host up there on the top right. It was just a bright, sprightly, explosion-filled game. And when you're 13, 14 years old and an arcade, absolutely baked, playing that game, it's almost like you can't hear or see anything else for the entire time you were doing it. And there was just something about smoking and getting that experience that was just double the blast to the mind. I mean, because chances are we were smoking sativas back then because we didn't have a lot of indicas growing out in Miami. But those two games in the arcade were the things that I cut my teeth on out there. And then eventually Nintendo would come by and give us one of those guys, the Super Mario Brothers. And then I would graduate to this game, The Legend of Zelda, which absolutely took over my life for just such a long time. But those games are the ones that I started playing long, long ago in conjunction to smoking cannabis, whether it was with my friends and stopping off at the bowling alley or an arcade, or just coming home from getting baked all night. I know your experiences came a little bit later, obviously, but
I mean, when I was young, I had the Atari 1600, I think, the old
26.
26, okay,
2600.
I started out with that. Played a game called Mega Mania. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh my God! Are you don't try me on that? I remember
kind of like Space Invaders, but there was actually a contest. I actually played that game until it stopped. I want to say there was a contest that game was having or something like that, and you had to take a picture. I remember taking a picture with a fucking Polaroid of the TV to mail it in, but nobody ever told me anything. But I still tried. I'm like, man, I played that game seriously. One button in the stick until it stopped.
I remember the commercial, Mega Mania. Yeah, man, that game made it on my rotation. I think it was sort of like Kaboom and some other ones in that sort of area. But I specifically remember, obviously, this is not just pre-internet; it's pre-digital anything, where you would have to take a picture of you beating the game and sending it into like Nintendo Power or whatever post office box they had you send it to, and then they would send you like a T-shirt or some award. It was just more. It just felt more personal back then. Now it's those kinds of things don't necessarily happen as much. But
now you can just get on your console and connect it to your social media and download it and start a YouTube channel and get monetized real quick. Shout out to all of the gamers, especially on YouTube. I mean, that's a whole niche right there. I know a lot of gamers are really on Twitch. I know you know about Twitch.
Oh yeah,
but YouTube's still a big platform, and there's still plenty of gamers out there playing these type of games. But now I didn't get into zombies. I see Rip Rock saying zombies ate my neighbors. I didn't get into zombies. My sons actually played the zombie portion, so I always watch my sons play it. I didn't have the patience for it. I like the stats. I was trying to chase that gold gun.
Yeah. I know B-Mac's not 20 years old dropping that Streets of Rage. That's some OG shit. Good looking out right there. Streets of Rage is one of the first ones. Those are one of the first fighters. Where that predates pretty much all the fighters. Matter of fact, I don't know. Maybe other than Double Dragon, we can't really talk about games like that they just weren't that popular, man. Those were the games that make it popular. What's good, Bobby? Good to see you, man. Talking about gaming and ganja, but yeah, those games obviously in the arcade, and when we started getting the Atari 2600, that started becoming really cool. It would be harder for me because I couldn't smoke weed at home, but I would find a way and then go back to the house and smoke. But what really hit me and my friends super hard, we're talking fast forwarding a little bit through that age through junior high into high school, somewhere around 91, and then out of high school 92. This game right here dominated our life. Now, I don't know if anybody out there remembers the old days of the Sega Genesis, which was the very, very first birth of the Madden series. John Madden, and then Joe Montana Sports Talk Football. There was a bunch of other stuff out at the time. But this game in particular not only was a great hockey game, but if you hit someone hard enough, they would bleed on the ice and they would get pulled off. It was amazing. It was really fast paced. I didn't know shit about hockey. I didn't know shit about the players.
Just pressing the buttons, huh?
Yeah, man. I just knew what I had to do, and I knew I could pass it, and that guy could hit it. And it's just most of those games back then were a little bit of luck. But I mean, it took the intelligence. I think that's really the reason why me and some of my gamer friends who've been smoking for so long have such good memories and can hang on cannabis without feeling confused, because we constantly bombarded ourselves with all of this data and digital stuff growing up being baked, and it got in there like a Public Enemy beat, and it didn't get anywhere. It just stayed in there. Yeah,
Bobby McClain saying Warzone and weed. I remember Warzone. Yeah, like 30 people on a team on a big ass map trying to everybody take everybody out. Yeah, I remember Warzone. If that's
he may be
talking about.
Yeah, maybe. When he said it, I thought I read Battlezone, but yeah, Warzone is a game type for most of those drop-in games,
like Capture the Flag, Warzone, those things. I love Shipment. I had to send my guy Bob the video. Yeah, Shipment was one of the videos I did capture. I was going through my old files trying to find that gold sniper gun. I thought I had a video somewewhere where I went 22-0. That's we're 22 days away from the NFL kicking off. I thought it'd be cool, but I couldn't find it. But I did send you that one from Shipment.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I'm getting to that too, because we've only got I got a couple other games that I pushed through.
Yeah.
I think after hockey, we're talking about.
Yeah, I didn't play hockey, so.
We'll go to the second generation, right? Yeah. So this was one of the first shooters. I don't know if you remember this, my friend.
Yeah.
But this is the original.
Yeah.
It was online, but in a very, very limited form and fashion. And this was the game that wet my whistle when it came to first-person shooters, because it really was the original one. And then after that is really why Call of Duty only exists because of Medal of Honor. It was a game that had a huge company behind it. DreamWorks was producing it. It was a gigantic game, and it was really, really good, man. Super. I think it was historically correct in a lot of different ways, but it was really one of those first times where I was smoking cannabis, and I kind of wanted to chill, but I popped that game in. I didn't have a chance to. It was just like, show me your papers, grenades and fucking all kinds of shit happening. And I'd never had that happen before, man. It was just, we didn't play those war games, were not prevalent in video games at all. And that was the game that kind of set it off. So if we didn't have that Medal of Honor, we wouldn't have had any of those future Call of Duty ones. But even in that sort of time frame, this game completely dominated me, man. I mean, it was funny. I had a friend of mine who was working downtown when Rockstar was there mapping the city. They would go eat at his place, which was a famous place to eat called the New Times Cafe, or the News Cafe. I'm sorry. And it was a big place. And he's actually named in the liner notes of that game. If you look in that liner notes for GTA Vice City, Emil Bousset is his name. And he's on there because he was the bartender for Rockstar pretty much the entire weekend they were mapping out. But that game was super fun. It had some as you can see, it had some Scarface things thrown in. You could actually find the apartment where the guy got his head chainsawed off, and Scarface in the game, which is how you actually get that chainsaw. It was one of those first games that were super violent, man. But I don't know.
That was the one where the game it had the map view from up top, right? It was.
Well, the very first.
No, that was Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah,
PlayStation
GTA
2.
1.
Yeah, GTA
was
1.
that was, and it had really, it was
Yeah.
the top down, and which
that was only
pretty
GTA
fun.
I really played was GTA 1. I remember that was from the top down view where you're driving the car and trying to avoid everybody shooting you up, complete the mission type shit. Yeah.
Chase making me feel old, Doug. It's been a minute, dude.
Yeah.
It has been a minute. Yeah, the original Modern Warfare was good stuff. I'm glad you mentioned that, because as we're pushing forward, we're getting to sort of the Xbox, and that started getting popular, and that's really when I started getting into the peak of this game right here. Now, obviously, Madden had been around since I think '91, so we've got a lot of Maddens that happened before this. But for me, I believe Madden 13 was the pinnacle. It was the last game that had really, really good simulation to it, as opposed to the cookie cutter shit we've been getting for the last, ever since every game after that. But smoking and getting baked and playing with my Cowboys back then was just the next level of amazing, because I was such a fanatic as you are. And, like when you finally get a game where your team is actually pretty decent, obviously that happened a lot in the 90s, but the game always loved Dallas for some reason, man. And John Madden always loved the Cowboys. So he always made them pretty good, but getting baked and playing that game was pretty fun, man. It wasn't, I think that was online, obviously at the time. It was very, very early on in online. So you could play against people. But that was a fun.
I never got into Madden, bro. I only played one main game really on PlayStation. I played one other on, I think it was PlayStation 2. But yeah, it was Call of Duty for me. And then the other one was, I got caught up in the Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, Red Dead Revolver, right? That was the first one, right?
I didn't play it. I played the Red Dead Redemption.
Okay, the second one.
Yeah.
So
riding around on the horse, shooting birds and shooting robbers and completing
that game is absolutely gorgeous. The gameplay is amazing. The fact that you can fish, just everything you can do in that game is absolutely makes it one of the best games ever. Do you want to know the reason why I never played it again after playing it for at least just about an hour?
Why?
Because you have to continuously tap the A button in order for your horse to move. That drove me effing nuts. I could not get past that. I don't know why you couldn't just push forward on the stick to make that happen.
Yeah, right.
It would have been so much freaking easier on my right hand, but no. So I was like, the hell with it. I'm done with it. I stopped playing it specifically because of that.
Engagement matters. Engagement matters. Tap, tap, tap.
And I'll tell you what, man, with the combination of gaming and ganja and that in my life, and being a drummer and being a musician and loving music, when this game popped up, I kind of felt weird, but I didn't feel weird because this is the peripherals you can get with it. Now, the drum set to the right is what I had, but I had an extra bass pedal, so I could do double bass on it. And I would get absolutely baked with my friend Tanzim and play up in my loft out here for hours. You could play with a guitarist, another guitarist, a bassist, 3 other musicians of any kind can play with you online in order for you to get the song correctly. And it was absolutely a blast. I mean, we were playing all kinds of stuff, Metallica. Then they started coming out with like Rock Band, Guitar Hero, or Van Halen, and band specific, a Metallica specific CD that you could play. That shit was pinnacle fun for me, man. Getting baked and playing that was amazing. Now, I will tell you this. Anyone who played those games can attest to the fact that if you played all the instruments, you would know that only one of them is actually accurate to playing, and that is the drum set. The guitar makes absolutely no sense. The strumming doesn't make any sense. Singing, you can kind of cheat through, and keyboard you can kind of cheat through, but the drums are really the most accurate thing there, man. And that was just so much fun, man. Playing that game and just getting baked. You still love Guitar Hero, yeah?
What up,
Guitar Hero?
Shorty?
There's really no difference. I think it was just a different company that was making them. It was all pretty much. I think the difference is that you could only play guitar on Guitar Hero. Rock Band made it so that you could play multiple stuff. Burnout. Oh man, Burnout's a fun game too, man.
I just realized something sitting here listening to you talk about all these different games. Like I said, I barely play. Like I played Call of Duty and then Red Dead Redemption. Like I really wasn't that much of a gamer, I guess. I was really stuck on one game.
Well, you were in the military, right?
And that kind of is where it goes. So yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
All things familiar. I worked around guns. I'd stand armed security on ships and things like that. So it was too much like right. But yeah.
If you had dead time, it definitely wasn't playing video games. I know that. But we're moving forward too. We're talking about games like this, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the first Call of Duty Modern Warfare online. That's the one Chase was just talking about.
Yeah.
That game right there, man. Whew, I'm telling you, we played game after game after. That was a mind blower because it was all basically, historical stuff. It was all old school battles up to that point. This one was UAVs and infrared or green and all these amazing new weapons that we weren't using before, man.
Care packages and all that stuff. Yeah.
That was good stuff. And that made way.
Can't wait for somebody to drop a care package, snipe them, or take their package. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you real quick what we used to do, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, and basically every game after that. I came up with something called ABC, which is effectively left, middle, right. And we would play 6 versus 6, and I'd have a couple people on A, a couple people on C, one person on B, and me all the way in the back as a sniper. Because if you remember back in the days, what basically made you respawn with everybody else is whoever had the person furthest back in your spawn. Yeah. So as a sniper, I would take a high point so I could snipe people that ever tried to break through that one area, and I would be able to control the spawn. I wasn't a good player. I was really good at sniping, but everyone else on my team were killer shooters, and they would go out and get kills and come back and wait for the line, and I would pop them off from then. So that's how serious we would take that. We would actually have rangers too on A, B, or C, which means they could roam around, but one person had to stay still because once you move out of that area and die, your spawn starts flipping.
Shifts the map.
It gets real bad on you, man. Figuring that out, and that's why
I could stand that because y'all would be the type of clans that control the map, and then all of a sudden, as soon as you spawn, bam, you getting hit. As soon as you come in, you're like, man, I can't even get in the game.
You get cornered. It's called being spawn camped. And that right there was one of the first ways we started doing that. Was basically we would pick a side that we really liked, and we practiced that for hours and hours before that, and say we want to control that. It was never something that you if you lost your spawn, you lost your spawn. That's all that was. Call of Duty really put a little bit of a tweak on gaming, man, with how you had to go up at it and stuff like that. And the team part of it was so much fun, man. Like, I mean, I had players on my team that weren't great. Like I wasn't great, but when you got people who think alike at numbers and you've got the same people going towards something, it could be pretty effective. Because
there's people like me. I'm just a gunner. I'm just by myself most of the time. And I find a lobby and I get in, I start getting clipped. As soon as I spawn, I'm out the lobby, baby. I'm in a whole nother lobby. I'm like, I ain't even, I'm not about to send my KDR down on some personal shit,
That's funny you mentioned that, man. I don't think I ever cared too much about that number. As a sniper,
your KDR, your kill death ratio,
because we have noob tubers out there, which was obviously people shooting grenade launchers, and so you could get taken out of positions. But
I did my fair share of noob tubers.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. That was probably some of the very first things that we banned in our battles at a very it was like no akimbos, no grenade launchers, probably no RPGs or something like that. That was how we would run. But pushing forward to modern day. This is pretty much your cup of tea. This is what you were talking about when you were locked down in the 2020, 2021 era, and you couldn't really get out of the house. You said you were going buck wild with this, huh?
Yeah, man. Once the kids was done with the iPads, because nobody was in school, everybody was on iPads. We were all locked down on timeout. I went into COVID saying, I'm going to develop a new skill. And just chose Call of Duty. I said, I'm going to try this sniper stuff because now I got time. And I never really did sniper because, like I said, I was a runner and a gunner. As that video I shared with you out of Shipment. Shipment was my favorite map for a runner and a gunner. You know what I mean? So,
well, I'll tell you what. Now that we're talking about it, we got to get to it, man. So let's go ahead and throw this up real quick. I'm gonna make sure I've got it muted. But this is BG, straight sweeping Shipment.
Now,
got a little video for him.
I get started off on a rough patch, but stay with me now. You know what I mean? Oh, I guess he's already clicked into it, so we're good. So yeah, I always like to get a vantage point. So in these kind of quick maps, you try to pick off as much as you can to try to get a kill streak going.
Oh, so you're on top of one of these right now?
Yeah.
Right, so you're on top of the center one?
Yeah, I'm right above. We're playing capture the flag, and there's a flag right there below me on that side, and then there's a flag right there. So you can go to two different spawn angles. Everything's about angles in Call of Duty for all my Call of Duty folks out there. I know I'm preaching to the choir with you, Bob, but
what is that? The UMP? Yeah. What kind of weapon is that you're shooting?
I think I can't remember what class it was. What is it? SMG, I think.
You win a couple kills without getting killed, man. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that map was crazy, man. Like you just, and you got guys running around with them damn shields and all that type of stuff. Everything's about can you get to a safe space real quick,
Yeah,
and then
definitely,
figure out which way they're spawning from because that spawn stuff flips so quick, especially on that map. But
capture the flag, that's pretty interesting. I don't know if I've even tried that on this game. I think we did domination a couple times, which is essentially the same thing. But yeah, that's hardcore, man. That's pretty crazy. So that's why we started playing hardcore because I didn't want to be able to see people's names. It was like we were hardcore. But that's still pretty crazy, man. This is nothing but insanity on this map.
Yeah, see, as soon as you turn around and you flip, you turn right back around. There's like 6 dudes behind you.
Yeah, so you got them camped right now because they're spawning in that crate.
I was waiting to try to figure out where the next spawn was going to be. Try to attack on them, as you see right there. And
you've only got 4. You've only got 4 on this one, and it's all 4 corners. Yeah, and you can spawn in different sections of the 4 corners, but the chances of you spawning in the middle is nil in this map.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a good camp right there, man. I mean, that's one of those things. You find somebody that's going to be able to counter you. They're like, dude, I can tell you where he's from. Especially since you're playing non-hardcore, they definitely see you. If they're watching kill cam, they should know where you are if you want to try to come get you.
When dudes would kill me in maps like this, like play like the way I'm playing, like I always ran with Simtex because I could always stick it somewhere near wherever they was at. And I'm like, it's personal. Like, okay, you got me. And that's how I learned like a lot of that stuff in the game in terms of, watching kill cams and figuring out like what's going on. But I think I got 60. I think I had 66 kills on this match though. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's pretty hardcore, man. You would think at this point, people would like, all right, well, you got some guy. He's up in the middle of the freaking second container, man. It's pretty well known. But there's really nothing you could do except that. You either got to airstrike or RPG that.
They threw C4 in there at me, and they know there's a couple of guys that take it personal. But yeah, it's just all about knowing the angles.
Let me tell you, man, these kinds of games, man, I would smoke before I play, and by the time the match was over, I was sober again. Because it just takes every single bit out of you, man. There's no chill in these games.
Yeah. Now it's like 10 minutes of straight, adrenaline and anxiety. You know what I mean? And you're, palm sweaty, mom spaghetti, that type of shit. You know what I mean? And then, you just get busy. And then, you get a 66 kill streak. You get a few kill streaks in the game. You're like, all right, yeah, I'm having a good time here. And then you fuck around and get in a map with, or get in a lobby with guys like with your clan. And then it's like, yeah, it's time to go somewhere else. These dudes,
believe me, we would get waxed too and be like, all right, time to move on, man.
Yeah, these ain't a bunch of randoms.
Oh, you got C4 again. That's a good one, man.
Yeah, 3/4 through the game, they finally figure, hey man, they're probably talking. There's a dude camping up there in the trailer, man. Get him.
Shout out to WMD Demonic One. He was a freaking surgeon with those goddamn C4s. He would be able to throw them.
Yeah, I never could use C4. I was always Simtex, man. Simtex.
I mean, you could detonate that shit in the air mid throw. That's what I love the C4, man. You double tap that thing as soon as wherever you want it to blow up. As long as you double tap that button, it goes off.
I never took the time to develop that skill, but during COVID, I damn sure worked on that sniper because I was like, man, we got a lot of time, and
C4 was good because you could bait a group of people to an area and detonate it, which was really.
That's what I hated. Yeah, they put it right by the spawn spot. As soon as you spawn and walk up,
yeah.
What? And you look at the kill cam, C4, like, oh man,
C4, beautiful. Yeah, man, we tried our best to frustrate the shit out of people because we didn't really have anything to go off of, but just straight skill, man. We didn't want to use auto aim or any of that bullshit people were using that was unprovable at the time, and. Play, and that now with the real shitty thing is, and again, I hope I don't offend anybody because my gamers are my brothers and sisters, but the fact that we're being forced to play cross-platform with people in most of our console games really pisses me off. I don't mind playing against people who are on consoles, but having to compete with people who have amazing aim ability on PC just doesn't work for me, man. I don't really like playing games that force you to play cross-platform with other people, man. I'd rather just, if you want to play with PlayStation people, get a PlayStation.
Yeah. But I was strictly PlayStation. I could never get down with the Xbox configuration. I was like, oh, I'm too PlayStation. Once I got on the game, I was on that one.
Yeah, I mean, PlayStation was the first pretty big console. I've got great memories of those consoles. PS1s and PS2 is definitely, obviously, to me, I think that was the peak of a lot of PlayStation gaming. Everything has sort of been emulated, but by that time. But it's an amazing. Those are amazing systems. Matter of fact, I've got the mini version of the PS1 right here.
Dang, Bob digging into crates.
I mean, they're on I got all my systems behind me on display, and then I got one I created, a PlayStation 2 that I splatter painted cowboy colored. It's got the OG modem on the back for your Ethernet connection.
Drop the video in the back, bro, so that way everybody can see it.
Oh shit! Yeah, I didn't even think about that. But yeah, that's it. That's a nice little PS2 from back in the days, man. Took that thing off, sprayed it. Yeah, this one I remember. I would make people. What do you mean online? What do you mean play games online? And we would get baked. I'm like, we're gonna play some Tiger Woods and get some dude from Singapore right now. It's gonna be hilarious.
Yeah, man.
It was over. If you had a good DSL signal, you probably were rich. But most of us were running on dial-up. That's a dial-up modem, so you would hear the and then you go and get ready to play. But I tell you what, man, it was just the next level, man. Having something like that to do when you were baked was absolutely something. I've just got nothing but amazing memories, man. There was just nothing. I don't have any bad memories associated with cannabis or gaming, if I'm being honest. So the fact that we're talking about both of them right now is pretty amazing, man. They both have had a lot of positives in my life. Now, have I focused on both of them more than other things? Probably.
Remember growing up in our era, we was always told, stop playing those games, get a job, do something with your life. But now you can literally play games and get paid to play games. Like a lot of the YouTubers and the creators, the Twitchers,
BG, I'll tell you, man. For as proud as I am to be Generation X, I am that unproud of the boomers that raised us with all the bullshit they told us. I'm inclined to believe most of it was a lie used to protect either faith or politics or money. And I don't really understand, man. Like so much stuff has been just disproved, but that's one of them. Like video games, whatever, it's going to hurt your eyes. I will say that it could probably do some things to your hands. I've got gamer's thumb on both hands because of that.
Yeah,
but
I've gotten some sore thumbs from playing like long hours. You play like 8 hours straight. Yeah, Jack. You're gonna have a little tender right there.
The last time I played in a tournament on Rocket League, that was probably about 4 hours, and that was less than 6 years ago, and it absolutely destroyed it. I had to get a brace for my hand to sleep in at night to keep it. I forgot what it's called, but it's basically just called gamer's thumb. Other than that, man, I don't have a lot of negatives, man. I mean, it was amazing that my clan was able to buy me the system that they were all on so that I could get everybody together. They could have easily just found another leader, but they were like, no, let's get this guy over here, because I was really good at my job, man. And again, I took it like a job. I had something called Hell Week, where me and my buddy Monster would put everyone through basic training for 2 or 3 hours on that game without doing any battles. It would just be practicing our strategies. We were so hardcore in that we would scan the maps and mail them to each other, snail mail, so that we could figure out what the positions were that we created. I mean,
yeah, that's some serious recon. But my guy B-Max tapping in right there. I know he's been chatting it up. He says, I love PlayStation, but I've been on Xbox the last 5 to 6 years. Let me ask you this question. Like, what keeps you on Xbox versus coming back to PlayStation? Because like I was always on PlayStation, and I know some folks are just strictly dedicated to either PS or PlayStation, PS5 or Xbox or whatever. But what do you like so much about Xbox that's been keeping you over there, B-Mac?
And I'll tell you this much. I know for me, it just became wherever my community was. So if most of because a lot of my friends also have a PlayStation and they play over there. But if most of them stayed on Xbox, I didn't have the kind of money where I was like, I could have both. For me, the reason why I stayed on Xbox is because that's where my community was. I only played online games on PlayStation 2. But then from there, I played it on Xbox, Xbox One, Xbox 360, Xbox Series X. So that's 4 different systems on the Xbox that I could have jumped to another system. But since everybody stayed on Xbox, I was with them. They do a good job of. There's only a couple games that are exclusive to either of them, right? I mean, I think at one point Xbox
Well,
had Halo.
Don't you have to play on the Xbox online platform that they have? I think. Don't you got to?
Yeah, it is a subscription
or something?
Yeah.
Versus it's free versus PlayStation is free, right? Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's probably one of the reasons why I stayed on PlayStation. Pay for online. Why when PlayStation's for free?
And I'll tell you something else that's really weird. When the first game I played online collectively with a Call of Duty was called Call of Duty Big Red 1, which predates Call of Duty 2. So this one was the second Call of Duty ever made, and it was amazing. But from there, it was Call of Duty 2, and then I think it went from there. But that was when the change happened. So we were playing Big Red 1, but when Call of Duty came out, Call of Duty 2 came out, it was only available for a next generation system. And for some reason, for the first 3 or 4 months, PlayStation did not have headset support for that Call of Duty game. It was only a few months, but it was enough time for me to be like, what the hell am I going to stay on PlayStation for if I can't talk to my clan? That doesn't make any fucking sense. So everyone jumped ship and went to Xbox, bought me the Xbox, and then they fixed the the Call of Duty thing on PlayStation. So that was really the only reason why I stayed over there, man. The community stayed there, and all my friends and dudes were over there.
I couldn't get past the configuration on the controller. I was like, whatever.
They're clunkier too. I think they're fatter. They have like a fatter grip to them. They're
well, not like the vibrating wireless ones when they came out. It was like, you had the mild one or the high one or whatever.
Yeah, the old school DualShock, man, on the PlayStations. Those
DualShock. There you go.
And I loved the the Resident Evil games for PlayStation. I mean, there's a shitload of ones I didn't even bother making cards for, because we're talking about, if you're talking about, bro, there's hardly a chance that I didn't smoke weed when I played video games since I was 13 years old. I don't know if I ever just woke up and started playing a video game. That didn't really happen. I mean, I'll probably be up for a few hours, and then by then I'd be baked and play the game. So cannabis and gaming for me has just been hand in hand since day one, man. And since I started smoking anyway. And it continues to be that way, man. I just think it's a good escape. One of the games that I am truly able to escape with is this one. Now, I don't know if anybody's gotten their heads around Skyrim or Elder Scrolls of any kind.
I know it's very, very popular. I always seen people talking about it. Is that CPU or which console?
No, this is Xbox and PlayStation. I don't know if it's exclusive to Xbox, because I only play Xbox. But man, we're talking about a beautiful game where you can fight dragons, and I'm not talking in a corny way. I'm talking, it's not a usual way of fighting the dragon, by the way. Usually they'll come to the ground where you can hit them with arrows. But we're talking about an entire expansive world of all kinds of different things you're coming across. Just the evolution that gaming has made enjoying cannabis and gaming at the same time just that much better, man. Because the games, in my eyes, do a better job of taking you out of your reality. And let's be honest, most of us first started smoking cannabis to take ourselves out of reality. I know we don't like to popularly say that out loud. We like to say it's medicinal and it makes me centered. But it also makes you high, and you like being fucking high, so let's not trip on that. So when that first started happening, that was really what I attached myself to the games to. But when you've got a game that can take you out of yourself and a cannabis situation, man, it just makes the games that much more immersive. Games like Fallout and open world games where your decisions decide the ending and stuff like that. I mean, did you ever mess with like...
No, they got some high tech stuff. I see BMAC talking about VR, that virtual reality. I know that's very big. People living like whole virtual lives while they're in their houses. You know what I mean? And that's a whole nother subject off of consoles and games. But yeah, VR. I never got it. I've never played VR. I think my kids had that Oculus or whatever it was for about 5 days, and then I think it's been sitting in the corner ever since. Yeah, damn waste of money. But yeah, I couldn't get into it.
It says, I think Shorty's asking if PlayStation, you got a yearly fee, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's either monthly or you got to buy a card.
PlayStation.
Yeah.
PlayStation, not Xbox. But I know, I mean, Xbox is, I don't know, 20 something a month, but like BMAX saying, you get 100 plus games for free. You get all the old school games in there too. They sort of balance each other out. I do believe community is probably the 100% the reason why I stick around.
Yeah. No, that made sense why y'all jumped ship and went to, Xbox, because I mean, communication is key, especially in a clan. I mean, even if like I played with guys that weren't on the mic, but they were just good like that. And you just kind of figure out your role in there, and then you kind of play in between those lines. And then,
right.
But yeah,
VR, man, VR is that's so the new kind of VR is cool because you don't need to. I don't think like you need to like move your furniture too much. There's a good enough space where you won't be falling over and stuff like that. They've changed it, so I believe it's sort of augmented reality, where everything is sort of it's happening in your living room and stuff like that. And I'm sure they've got the headset a hell of a lot better. I think the early ones were a little weird, but I would love to try it because, a matter of fact, that guy Demonic I mentioned was one of my best friends, and he was playing with us for so many years, but I haven't seen him for probably 2 or 3 years because that's all he does is play VR. He's like, it's just so much more fun. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I get it, man. I mean, we're talking about truly immersive, man. That's crazy.
Everybody's got their thing, so
yeah.
Shout out to all the VR folks out there. Megan says, I fish on the VR. Oh, shit.
That's what's up, man.
Hey,
there's a couple fishing games I live and die, but PlayStation was Bass Strike, and the one that I play on Xbox Series X is absolutely amazing. So that's what's up. That's something I could get behind right there. No doubt.
Yeah.
I would even buy a VR just to be able to fish, to go back to being able to catch largemouth instead of fucking with the trout out here.
What up, Park Ranger? We see you in the building, baby. Appreciate you tapping in down there in Visalia, California. Park Ranger in the building.
We got enough people here. You can go ahead and throw in the comment section. Let me know what your favorite game is to play while you're baked on cannabis or while you're enjoying your medicine, whatever we're going to call that for you today. There's just too many for me to list, but I listed most of them in those slides. And let me tell you, man, it just keeps going and going. I'm waiting now for I think a new Fallout should be out, or they started development on that. So, the one thing that I can say is I think games have slowed down. I mean, we're talking about hundreds and hundreds of games for the PlayStation 2, like, PlayStation 3. The current generations, they're not churning out games as much as they used to. And I know people are focusing more on digital gaming as opposed to, physical discs, which is fine. I get all that. It keeps all the clutter and all that shit down. But at the same time, I just don't see a lot of games coming out.
Remember when we used to see the Candy Crush commercials and all that years ago, maybe like 2014, 15? Sure. Like, you don't even see those kinds of game commercials anymore as you talk about the gaming market shifting and everything. But yeah, it's like, isn't Call of Duty coming out with a new one? Don't they like come out with one every November or something around that time frame? Or did they just recently launch their new one? Or
yeah, they have a new one pretty much every year. But, you can play Warzone for free regardless of what game you buy, as long as the problem is you got to download that whole freaking thing. And Call of Duty historically is like 700 fucking gigs where you have to buy an external hard drive just to freaking be able to just play Call of Duty over and over. Every time I turn that game on, it's like, Call of Duty needs an update. I'm like, God damn it, that's another month. I can't sit here and watch that download.
So yeah, Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is the current one for 2025. Damn. So yeah, man.
Oh shit, yeah. Richard, don't even get me, motherfucker. This Diablo 2, I'm speaking strictly Diablo 2.
Diablo was a game?
Absolutely ruled my life on PC for like 4 fucking years.
What was it?
Let me tell you.
FPS
it's a top-down fantasy game. It's all basically about you trying to kill Satan in different forms, Beelzebub and all this. But it's really groups of people that go into dungeons and clear them out and kill and basically try and get to a boss that will drop really killer gear so you can get really awesome gear and stuff like that. It's a fantasy role-playing game basically. But back in my day, and we're talking 2002, 2001, 2003, I was so good at that game that I was accruing so many awesome weapons that I was able to put them up on eBay and sell them for $30 and $40. Just a sword. And I'm talking about a sword you would never physically touch in your entire life. It is a piece of data that I transfer from my server to your server. You would come to my room, you would drop the money into my eBay account, and only after you did that would I drop that item on the floor for you to pick up, and I would leave. And after about a year of that happening, Blizzard opened up their own store. Because people were doing that. But that Diablo game was hardcore. You can find it on Xbox Series X. There's a couple remakes of it. But, I didn't even want to include PC in there because PC is a completely different animal. Most people don't game on it. I think the majority of people who hardcore game our console players. It's a little bit more niche on PC because it costs a little bit. You have to keep upgrading your shit, but they're amazing, man. PC games are amazing, and that one ruled my life for years, man. I mean, I'm talking, bro. I had so many accounts filled with items that I actually got into a fight with a close friend of mine who lost it. I went away from the game for a couple of years, and I gave him my passwords and said, just go in there and keep them active. And they were lost, man. I went back to go there and play him. He's like, sorry, dude, I didn't get on there. And I remember being viscerally angry about that. That is how hardcore gaming can be in our life. Because
he fumbled like all your precious jewels, huh?
All the jewels, all diamonds, all the
all
swords,
your digital jewels, all your digital jewels.
Shit, I would never be able to put my hands on. Exactly, man.
Damn.
That's crazy.
Bob was the Diablo pusher, man. Imagine that, baby. Bob was dealing them jewels out there.
Yeah, man. Stuck tweaker all night. There were no saves back then. You're right. That's pretty crazy. You would just have to go, get out of the server. Yeah, man, that was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun.
Now they have things like online betting and sports betting and all these types of games. You know what I mean? I don't know.
That game,
the gaming community, even like what do they call it? First Strike. What do they call it? What those guys, 7-8 guys play on computer screens versus 7-8 guys on the other side.
Like Counter-Strike?
Yeah, Counter-Strike, that game. You know what I mean? I know that's already big. They're already betting on those kids and things like that. There's some legislation floating around the country on that for the gaming industry. I know Mark Cuban is well invested. Used to be owner of the Dallas Mavericks. I think he sold, didn't he? But invested into the gaming industry. So yeah, that gaming industry is real, real big, especially the Twitch platform, where all the gamers do hang out and on YouTube. So shout out to all the gamers out there as we talk about gaming on green today, baby. This been cool. I didn't know you was that serious. I knew you played online with clan and shit, bro, but you like a gamer.
Yeah, like the only people I play with are people who are in my clan, or it's not active anymore. But everybody I know that I game with has WMD in front of their gamer tag, and all of them had to pay money to do that. By the way, they might have had their name as Richard or Fresh Dildo or whatever. But as soon as if you join my clan, you had to change your gamer tag. So that's how I knew whether they were committed or not. If they didn't want to pay the $5 to do that, then they're not going to come and show up to practice. You know what I mean?
Buy-in, man. You got to have buy-in.
Yeah. But that and we are hardcore, man. Matter of fact, we are me and a good friend Nocturnal. He's popped in. He's a Kansas City Chief fan. Matt, we play this game called Ready or Not. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's a PC game that they ported over to consoles where basically you're a SWAT team. And you have to control SWAT team in active shooter situations, hostage situations. They do a nightclub thing. They do a school thing, and it's not a sweet game. They give you a warning at the beginning. Actually, it can be pretty fucked up going in against some chomos and killing people that are in charge of a ring, doing that kind of stuff. So I like that kind of shit. Like that's the kind of first person shooter I could play. I'll go in and play Call of Duty every once in a while just to be like, okay, I know why I stopped playing this fucking game.
It was really, for me, just a 10-minute rush of adrenaline, and then you get the lobby, get up, go take a piss, grab some salami and cheese, grab some chips, you know what I mean? Yeah. Maybe roll up for the next, go, and then bam, back in it for another 10 minutes,
It's amazing. It's so much fun, especially if you got people on there that you play with regularly. They know how you play. They know, fucking BG looks to the left too much, so I'm gonna look to the right when I'm hanging with him, or some shit like that. That's when things start getting real fun. Yeah. Nowadays we don't coordinate, but we still do. We still like, hey, I got your 6. Come on, I'm gonna follow you. Clear this room. Like we still talk like we're serious about it, but we have a lot of fun doing it, man. And that's really to me the reason why I had no problem getting out of competition gaming was because that's not what drove me to start playing to begin with. It became something that turned into this competition shit where I didn't care about that. It took the fun out of all of it. The whole fun was having me and my friends just absolutely talking shit, saying shit we'd never say in real life, and just having fun playing games and killing people with each other. You know what I mean? Just being outlandish and dumb, practicing jokes on each other and stuff like that. That's really what the whole thing was. And again, does not go hand in hand with smoking cannabis? I don't know, man. If it doesn't, fuck. By the way, Counter-Strike was released in 2000. I don't know if you know that.
Damn, 25 years.
So when you said something strike, I'm like, there's no way this dude's talking about Counter-Strike.
There's got to be some kind of new game that they're playing now, because I know
it's still out.
Yeah, that's a big industry right there. I know they're
They had a re-release, I think, in 2023 was the new version. So it's just like Modern Warfare had a new Modern Warfare, but it was a new game revamped. That's basically what it is. So they're all competing on that game. It's just a very badass version of that game.
I mean, if you just switch it and think about it, for NFL players that play Madden, I mean, that game essentially teaches them at a young age, offenses and terminology and things like that, because a lot of that is real transparent in the game. So I hear, because I never really played that, but that, it directly equates, maybe not so much to gaming on green, but the gaming aspect of preparing athletes, for their potential job. Imagine that, a game preparing you for your job. Put those games down. You're never going to go anywhere in life. Nobody's going to hire you. Get a degree. Get a good job.
Richard, you're bringing me back here, man. Man, SOCOM Navy SEALs. Listen, SOCOM Navy SEALs was one of the first real shit military communication games. It was so real that it came with a headset that when you talked into it, you were able to give your team commands. If they were AI, if they were teammates, you could say Delta Force, go to the left, cut left, put a cover fire. And they would actually do that most of the time.
Which console was that?
That was PlayStation 2, I think. PlayStation 3. It definitely was the early ones. SOCOM's old.
Only game I played on PlayStation 2 was 2 games. I'll take that back. GTA, I think you said the second one. And then Tony Hawk Skateboarder.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater?
Yeah, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, bro. Once I found out on PlayStation 2, it was over with. It was over with. I was stuck.
I went hard on those games. I'm actually alpha testing Skate, which was their direct competition after a few years after Tony Hawk's Underground and all that stuff. After they died away, EA Sports came out with a game called Skate. Then they had Skate 2 and Skate 3, which were revolutionary skateboard games. And I was a hardcore skateboarder growing up, so it was just forget it. It's probably the best skateboard game I ever played. I'm actually testing the new one out. I've been doing it for months, so it's pretty awesome to do that, man. To see the game develop. I was playing the game when there was no colors in the background and stuff like that. So that's always a fun thing to be able to. I was just able to sign up, but man, SOCOM, woo, damn.
I never played SOCOM. It was a couple games for me on PlayStation. Like once I got into a game, like I was in it. You know what I mean? I didn't, let's try this game. And this game seems cool. Let me go try this and see what that. I mean, now what? They're like $70 a game almost, is it? I remember when they were like $29 at Blockbuster and those places where you could buy them.
Well, it's really, so here's the catch now. It's $69.99. But if you want the 5 extra downloadable content maps and the golden skin and the Jay-Z haircut, then you're going to pay us $25.
In the ghillie suit.
Yeah, you got to get a ghillie suit, man. That's going to be $5 extra. So, and that's funny that you mentioned that because this particular skate game that I'm testing right now is going to be free. But you're going to have to pay for skateboards probably, wheels, trucks,
customization.
Stickers.
Customization
outfits,
is where it's at.
All that shit. So that's what they're doing. And again, that's really what got the skate community pissed off. But yeah, that's really what seems to be the new thing. Microtransactions. And again, we can thank the evil EA for that, because before Madden and before Ultimate Team, that shit wasn't happening on a consistent basis. But they've kind of really screwed the waterline by putting that out there, because now they're like, oh, we can spend mild money and put out a half-ass game and just develop it over time while people pay us for downloadable content. Let's do that instead. That's why we get shit games that drop. We're basically the ones that test them and say, dude, this game sucks.
Yeah, I think read somewhere, I think Fortnite may be the most lucrative game ever created so far.
Man, between skins and they've got collaborations with Family Guy.
I know my boys are wrapped up in it too. Oh, can I get this new skin? Can you pay me your PayPal? Can I get a cash? No. Yeah. Like, damn, they bleeding these kids' pockets just off customization. I mean, because I even paid on Call of Duty, talking about gaming on green. Remember when they came out with the weed skin?
Of course.
Yeah, I had to buy that and put it
fucking
on.
Right, I have it too. The Kush.
My son Bryce is just laughing.
I think it was called the Kush camo, right?
You think you're cool? Yeah, something like that. The Kush camo. Yeah,
I got that.
I had to get that one.
Yeah, I got my reason for buying shit. I think I can justify my purchases for sure, because I'm all right with it as long as I'm not being forced to make those purchases.
Oh yeah.
No one's ever forced me. I paid $2 to hear "Don't Sweat the Technique" from Rakim every time I score a goal on Rocket League. That's what I'm down with. I want to hear the God every time I score. I have no problem spending $2 for that. But if I have to pay for a card just to be able to compete with people. I'm not doing that shit. I'm just not playing the game anymore.
I get it, man. People got their own thing. Like we talk about, whether what console it is or, those types of things. Everybody's got their own thing.
Tiger Woods, man.
Yeah, I never got into that one.
Tiger Woods was the game that all of us in my clan owned for some freaking reason. None of us were golfers. Shit, none of us were military either. But for some reason, everybody had it, and it was a ritual. After every battle we had, an intense, crazy battle, we would jump into Tiger Woods and play 9 holes with each other. Just get 4 people on a team and just have a good time chilling out, relaxing, and then go back to the real world. You can't go back to the real world after getting shot up 17 times in a row in Call of Duty. You do it after losing a game of skins on a game you don't really care about. Then you go back to the real world. That's how crazy we were. But those Tiger Woods games were fun as hell, man.
That Tiger Woods game. I think that was during the red shirt, black pants era, right? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think really the only time they stopped calling it Tiger Woods was right after that, his latest scandal a few years ago. Then it started becoming like PGA Tour or Rory McIlroy. They started using other people as the dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you just said Rory McIlroy. Just made me think. I just watched that Adam Sandler show on Netflix.
Oh, it was great, wasn't it?
Yeah, bro. I was like, damn, Rory was in that. By the way, I thought it was a great job how they plugged in all the different celebrities throughout the movie.
Eminem was great, man. Detroit.
Yeah, right.
Eminem talking shit. That was hilarious. But man, that was an hour, man. We can keep going. We can keep talking, man. But I figure we'll give everybody a break, man. We touched on a lot of it. Again, these games for me. It just so happened that I was already a gamer by the time cannabis popped up in my life. And, it just seemed intelligent to combine them. It's not like I had a fear of combining cannabis with anything in my life, but definitely not gaming. And I believe there's a little bit of validity to what BMAC is saying right here, because there's a few times where, Call of Duty is one of those games where I can't be too baked because I'll blame it on being baked. And nobody wants to blame your weed for the reason why you went 0-32. But it's really one of those games where you've got to kind of be on it. And I technically most of the time don't smoke a lot before I play a COD game, but that's probably why I don't play COD that much anymore. There's a few.
It worked for me. It actually drove my stress because I was testing out this new weapon with the sniper gun, and I'm just like, have patience, and then you develop a little rhythm. But for me, it was a little bit different. I get what BMAC is saying, but yeah, the reaction times and all of that, it actually made me focus a little bit more is what I'm really trying to say.
I feel you. And you're talking about a sativa too. So I know that's probably what you were smoking. You may be, smoking indica now, but sativas are going to keep you on that wire. Call of Duties and sativas are just a match made in heaven, man. You need that twitch. Yeah. That's definitely what you need it for. But for me, it didn't really matter, man. I had so much fun, man. And I would probably smoke. I would smoke during those matches just to chill myself the hell out because and I'm like, dude, I would
smoke
get into
before
it, man.
You play, smoke while you play, gotta smoke after you play.
Smoke
every day.
I smoke 2 joints, then I smoke 2 more.
What's your favorite way of smoking bud?
Oh man. Well, folks, I appreciate everybody that came out, man. BG and I we're excited to talk about this. We're both fans of both of those things. Green and gaming. Again, mine goes back much further, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't stop the love from being there, man. There's just something about getting baked and playing video games, man. I guess that could be the reason why so many relationships are ruined by that exact combination. Because when another person is so insecure in themselves that they have to blame an inanimate object and a plant on the reason why a relationship's not working, then you've got a red flag. So you know what? Enjoy what you're doing. Don't do too much of it. That's really a good thing to follow by for most of your life. Enjoy doing what you're doing, but don't do too much in excess in anything, unless it is having fun.
Healthy proportions.
Yeah. Go on a social and karmic diet if you can, and make sure you've got the right people around you. But you folks have been around us for a long time. We appreciate you guys coming by and hanging out with us for sure. We had a lot of fun. Thanks for coming in and talking, being interactive with us. And I know you guys are probably going to get baked right now and go play some video games. I would like nothing more than to hear that.
Fired up, baby. Call of Duty. Let's go.
No doubt, man. So I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out. BG, anything you want to say before we hop out of here?
No, man, this has been cool. Gaming on Green. It's the smoke stream, baby. Every Wednesday. Make sure you join us here. We do things a little bit different on Hump Day. We'll be back to our Cowboys back tomorrow, but appreciate y'all tapping in here today.
Talk to y'all soon. Keep growing, baby.